Welcome back to episode 4 of the Rueb Show. I'm here once again with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Matt Z. Matty, how's it going, dude?
I'm fantastic. I hope the viewers can notice the difference. Do you hear that microphone? I mean, we're practically the big time now, James. I mean,
I mean,
listen to
this is
yourself.
like a full-fledged production now. I mean, look at this microphone, people. How do I
I
sound? I mean, leave something in the comments if you're hearing this. I mean, come on. Hey, Matt, look at this. Ready for this?
yeah.
Here we go, guys. You guys ready for this? Watch this. Oh, holy crap.
Oh,
Watch this.
lighting effects.
Down. We're
No
going
way.
up. I feel like a full-fledged TikToker now with this ring light. I
We're
mean,
gonna
look at
have
this,
to
guys.
we're gonna have to
This
get
is
you into makeup
fantastic.
after this.
Yeah, this is great. So listen, when we're big time, we'll get to makeup. Uh, so so listen, we're coming on here today, and me and Maddie are since we've had a lot of free agent stuff happen, and we wanted to get this out before the draft, which is coming up next month. So we're about a month out from the draft. So we thought it would be a good time right now to talk about some of our early thoughts on Super Bowl contenders for the 2021 season. And the reason that we think that this is valuable right now is because at this point last year, you could get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 60 to 1 to
Yeah.
win the Super Bowl this time last year. So, just kind of going over our thoughts now, seeing who we think, could be the biggest risers from last season and who we think has a chance to take home the title this year. We could run through this pretty quickly and then we'll get to some other stuff. So Maddie, you want to put a team on the board and we'll see where we're going. What are those? One,
Yeah.
two, three, four, five. There is the rankings.
All right, let's go ahead. So you can see my screen. The
I
viewers can
can.
see my screen.
Perfect.
So it's S, A, B, C, and D.
Okay.
All right, and they've got them in order here, and I say we just start at the top with the Tennessee Titans.
Okay. Tennessee Titans. They're going to get from me. And you know what? What? How are we going to do this? We each throw it out, and then maybe we'll put them in the middle, or we'll talk about where we should put them. I think
Yeah.
personally, I would have them with the Texans in the division. For me, I think I'm putting them in the B tier. What do you think?
I think they're on the borderline of B and A. Like I think they're a super solid team. They lost Corey Davis, which I think is actually going to be a bigger impact offensively than a lot of people realize. But I like B for them. I think once we get more teams on the board, if we get here and there's a bunch of Bs that we're like, the Titans are better than them, we can move them up or down regardless of that.
Perfect.
So,
Yeah, I think the Janu loss is big too. I mean,
yeah.
Ferkser is going to be their answer to try to replace him. That's a really big loss. All right, let's move on.
Yep. So Miami Dolphins.
I mean, this one, it really depends who's at quarterback for them next season.
Yeah.
I think with Tua at quarterback, they will be a B team for me. With Watson potentially at quarterback, they could potentially move all the way up to that S tier based on what they're going to do in the draft for me.
See, I think they're kind of an A team. Like even with Tua, they've got a solid run game. They added Will Fuller. They've got
Yeah,
I think that their defense is sneaky good.
yeah, for
Sneaky,
sure. I mean,
sneaky good.
they're young, and they're going to reinvest in the draft as well. So, what do you
Correct.
want to do here? Do we want to? Listen. You're not a big Tua guy,
I'm
so
not. I'm not a big Tua guy, and I think they're an A. So I
all
think
right,
let's
all
put
right.
them
So
in
let's do it
A,
then.
and we can adjust it.
I'm fine
Adjust
with
it
that.
later.
I'm
All
fine with
right.
that.
The Cleveland Clowns are next.
They would be an A for me.
Really?
Yeah,
With
I think Cleveland. I think Cleveland's just as good, if not better, as Miami. I have a little bit more faith in Baker than the majority of the public, and
yeah.
I'm a big Stefanski guy as well. So I think they're good, and hopefully their secondary is going to be healthier than it was a year ago. They were missing Greedy Williams and Denzel for a majority of the season, and you could tell. So
Yeah.
for me, with a healthier secondary, I've got the Browns there, despite the tough division.
I was just about to say that's the biggest thing is like I think that that whole division is stout. I mean, I wouldn't sleep on the bank. I mean, we're going to get to the Bengals, but I wouldn't sleep on them at this point. But I think
I
team wise,
I think it's the toughest division in the AFC. Do you agree?
I don't know. I mean, the Dolphins But Dolphins, Bills, and Patriots are a pretty good division, but it's probably better than them. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Jets are kind of holding that one down. All right.
Now we've got this is going to be our first lower tier, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I think we have to. I mean, if we're just going on the 2021 season, I have to
Yeah.
go D, but I do think that they're pretty promising. So maybe we could bump them up to a C if we feel necessary later. But for me, even with Trevor Lawrence coming in, they're not going to make a big impact this year. So
Yeah.
you know what? I kind of like them to be a little. I want to be on the optimistic side of Jacksonville. So if you're okay with backing Urban, I'm fine with going to C. What do you think?
I think we got to leave them at a D until we see what they do in the draft.
Okay,
I
that's fair.
still, I've heard, I mean, I still think it would be
Lawrence is a lock.
wild if
Stop.
they do,
Lawrence
if
is a
they
lock.
draft Justin Fields. I
No.
think that would be insane.
Lawrence is a lock. Listen, it's the card's already in. Goodell's already got it in his pocket. He's traveling to Cleveland with it.
I think that this may be one that jumps up to a C, and they did make a lot of offseason moves here.
Yeah.
But I still think they're a D.
It's tough. Yeah. Okay. I'm fine with that.
Yep. And then friend of the show, no social media
D.
Jake.
D.
I mean, it's just a D. If there was an F, it
We talked
probably
enough about the Lion. Listen, go back, listen to episode 3 with my buddy Jacob.
Yeah.
We went over the Lions in depth, and me and Matt are not fans of the Lions next season. Our buddy Jacob thinks that that they're a 5-win team. I guess we'll see, but for right now they're a D, no doubt about it. With Jared Goff at the helm, I mean, the significant downgrades. Lost Kenny Golladay in free agency to the Giants. Just absolute D for me.
I'll be interested to see once we put everyone on the board, but I think they're going to be the worst team in the NFL. If there was a bet for that, that would be my bet. So,
okay.
Now we'll move to a better team, the Minnesota Vikings.
I have them as a B tier, but just because I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not the biggest fan of Kirk Cousins, and I mean, they do have to deal with the Packers in the division for the division lead. So for me, they would be like a back end wild card team. And that's kind of where I think that B tier will be, is those back end wild card teams. It does have me thinking maybe we have the Dolphins and Browns too high if we're going Vikings up there.
I think that they're on par with the Browns for sure. And they added Patrick Peterson.
I'm not the biggest Patrick Peterson fan, but it is a decent signing. I think deciphering, I think that all of those teams are personally, to me, B teams, like those Dolphins and Browns that we just put on the board, because I think we're not going to have as many S teams as we think. I personally think we might only have 2 or 3. And so to me, that means a lot of teams are going to fall in that subcategory. And listen, we can move things around, but for me, I think we're good right there for now. And let's move on to the next one, because I think this is an easy ranking.
Yep, a C.
Yeah, C for sure. Defending champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, got to put them in the S tier. Returning everyone. I love that they're just basically running it back. They manipulated. I don't want to use the term manipulated, but they pushed money into later years in order to bring back Shaq Barrett, in order to franchise tag Chris Godwin, and just, I mean, really, really try to take advantage of this win now opportunity that they have with Tom Brady. So S tier for me, no doubt about it.
Yeah. The only but the only person not returning on their offense is Leonard Fournette right now and Antonio Brown. And I think that Ronald Jones can pick up the pace at running back. And I forget the name of that rookie last year at the receiver position.
Tyler Johnson.
Tyler Johnson. He looked fantastic
he's awesome.
in the snaps he had.
Brady loves him.
Yeah.
Brady loves Tyler Johnson. So I'm in on that as well.
So I think that's a super solid team. Love Brady, and maybe another Brady Patriots Super Bowl coming up. But
yep, absolutely.
49ers, I think this is one we kind of disagreed about last week. Where do you have them on this tier right now?
Problem is I don't really trust Jimmy Garoppolo, but I'm a big fan of Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
So that makes it difficult to rank them right now. I personally, even though they lost Robert Saleh, I still believe in that defense. I believe they might lose Richard Sherman,
Yeah.
to free agency, which definitely hurts. Which I'm surprised Richard Sherman had really rejuvenated his career over the past couple of years. So this is where we get tough. You really like the Niners, don't you, Matt?
I really do. I think, and especially, I think that I would not be surprised if Kyle Shanahan makes one big trade or move before the season starts.
Try to get a quarterback, you mean?
I think he does. I think that he does
So
something.
tough.
I think that he tries to make a play for Matt Ryan. I still think that that's what he wants to do.
I can see that as well.
I mean, he knows the system. It could be a big impact, but
Yeah. Listen, I'm fine. I'm fine with putting them in the A tier. So
would you see? I think right now, before the draft, I think they might be a B.
yeah, if we're going Jimmy Garoppolo at the helm, then we'll go
Yeah.
B tier.
This
Okay.
is one that could, and again, we're going to do this after the draft, so we can
Yeah.
take a look at these and say, like, how did we do here? It won't be as long as this one, but we can take the same, chart we have and say, how did we mess up? Who improved? Who did worse?
Move some teams around. Yep, I agree. All right, so Atlanta Falcons for me personally, that's a C tier.
Yeah.
Potentially good offensive team. Still missing a ton of pieces. Definitely can be dangerous to upset some teams. But like the Falcons, basically when you're going to Atlanta, you could lose any week. But I don't trust the Falcons at all to be successful this year.
Well, and so I live in Atlanta. I'm a New England fan, but live in Atlanta. I have a lot of friends that follow them. They lost Keanu Neal to the Cowboys, which I think is actually going to be a much bigger loss on their defense than a lot of people think.
He went to the Cowboys. That's a really good signing for the Cowboys.
Great for the Cowboys, bad for the Falcons. And then I still think, like, I don't think they're competitive Super Bowl wise, and I think this is probably going to be not going to be the last year of Julio's career, but I think this is probably his, like, the highest you're going to get for him trade wise. So, I mean, my recommendation for the Falcons organization would be to trade Julio, get whatever they can, and try to build around, because Calvin Ridley is the real deal. I mean, I think he proved that last year. I think he's going to take over and be that number one, but I think that they need to start building a younger base overall, and I'm not sure that Julio is going to make that big of a difference for him and them in the near future.
Perfect. All right, for me, this next team, Baltimore,
Yeah.
I would put them in the A tier. They've shown that they can be successful and lean on their running game and on the back of their defense. Lamar, still, there's a ton of question marks on, is he able to get them back in a game, make the necessary throws to be what I like to call, and to steal from Colin Cowherd, a confetti quarterback, a guy who could win a Super Bowl. I think Lamar is capable of that. But until we see it, we cannot put them in that upper echelon, personally.
I mean, on paper, they're such a good team, but I agree. I don't know what it is when they get to the playoffs. It's just not there. And as of us recording this on March 22nd, I know that I think Sammy Watkins is supposed to meet with them either tonight or tomorrow. And I actually think that would be a big signing for them, because they need some receiver.
They're also in the market for a trade for DJ Shark, which I think is another really, really interesting target. So listen, they had a wide receiver or two. I don't know if there's anything that could really move them into the S tier for me right now, because I think just the biggest question is Lamar Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Just how is he going to perform?
Yeah, and I think that getting him help will only help. I know it's simple, but I mean, I think that I think like Josh Allen last year, he didn't have any receivers. They went out and got him Stephon Diggs. John Brown came back, he was hurt most of the year, but I think that the Ravens need to get Lamar some help so they can, he and them can prove to everyone that he's the quarterback that they want to take them to the Super Bowl.
Yep, I agree. All right, next, Chicago Bears.
D.
No, I'd probably put them in the C.
You got him in a C?
Yeah, I think you have to, right? Come on.
Oh, I don't know. I think they're right by the Lions down there, 0-16.
No, they're totally Falcony to me. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm not excited about them. If anyone wants to go back and watch an all-time Bears rant, go back to episode 3. You'll hear me yell and scream. I'm not going to do that today. We're
Yeah.
just going to put them in a lower tier and we're going to move on. Cincinnati.
You don't want to move.
I don't wanna talk about it.
Okay, Bill. We're moving on to Cincinnati.
We're moving on to Cincinnati.
Moving on to Cincinnati.
I can't do the Bears today. Okay, Matt.
All
We're
right.
recording on a Monday.
Yeah.
I can't do the Bears today.
All right.
All right.
I'll give you your C for the Bears. Moving
can't.
on to Cincinnati. What do you? This is a tough one for me, actually.
It's a C for me.
You think?
It's a
See,
C for me.
But like looking at them, I think that if they were playing, I would choose them over the Falcons. I'd choose them over the Bears.
It's tough. Joe Burrow is not a lock to be ready to start the year, which is difficult.
Yeah.
It'll be very interesting to see what they do with their early round pick. I'm really interested to see what they do. I would love to see them get Chase out of LSU. I think getting a weapon like that after losing out on Kenny Galladay, I think that's a really interesting target for them. How do you feel if they added Jamar Chase in the draft? Would you be moving them up, or are we already pretty bullish on them here?
I think that we're already low on them. I think we're gonna get some hate in the comments, but I mean, obviously Chase has the relationship with Joe Burrow, so I mean that's there. And I think that I like T. Higgins a lot. I think he was super underrated last year, but I think that T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Tyler Boyd, that's a super solid receiving core.
Yeah, I agree. I think this next team might get some contention here. The Dallas Cowboys, they are going to be personally in my A tier.
No.
Yes.
No.
But
you can't.
If you're a favorite to win the division, you have to be up there in that A tier.
No.
They're going to host a playoff game potentially.
You can't put them as good. You can't put them that
so
high.
we're not gonna have a single team from the NFC East in the A tier. Not a single one.
I agree. Last year, think about it. They were the worst division in the NFL. Just because you're the worst or the best of the worst doesn't mean you should get to go up to A.
Listen, but getting that Dak extension done, they're getting him back. He's supposed to be ready to start the year. Signing a Woozier, I don't know, man. I'm way more bullish on the Cowboys than you are for next year, for sure. I'm fine with this B tier, but I think it's wrong. And I bet you come August or September when we do another one of these, we're going to be moving them up and we can revisit this. There's going to be a lot. You forget how good that offense was those first couple of weeks. Just a reminder, in 2019, before adding CeeDee Lamb, they had a better yards per play than the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. That's just a reminder.
No, I get it. The offense was great, but the reason I have them in B is their defense was that bad.
Yes,
that their offense had to score 50 points a game.
Their defense, when they get Van Der Esch back, is really good. I don't want to say really good, but it's significantly better. And then they had Keanu O'Neal.
Yeah.
They had Keanu O'Neal, man. Listen, they're the favorites to win a division. They could be a top 3 seed in the NFC. And we're talking about they can't potentially, win a Super Bowl. I don't know, man. We've already agreed Dak we agreed something like top 6, top 7 quarterback.
Yeah.
That makes it to the A tier for me.
All right. I'll move them
quarterbacks.
There.
Yeah,
I just don't think that's right.
I don't even think we have a single quarterback on the board better than Dak. I would take Dak over Brady right now.
100%,
Right now, this very second. I would take Dak over Lamar right now, this very second. Just for the quarterback play alone, I think they need to be in that A tier.
Yikes. Yeah, we do have some rough quarterbacks on the board so far.
It's rough. Hopefully, we're getting to some better ones, but which is nice.
Okay.
Texans, this one's easy. D, and it's even with Watson. I mean, when they lose him, they'll be our F tier. So,
I mean, I want to rant about them for a second. Like, what?
Yeah, please do.
How do these NFL organizations get these people in charge that make the decisions that they make? I texted you, what was that, Friday night or Saturday night? Like, we were both out.
Oh, man. Yep.
And when they signed yet another running back.
Philip Lindsay. Yeah, Matt sent me a text and it said, "Oh my God, the Texans!" And I immediately go to Twitter and I'm searching, "Oh my God, Deshaun Watson news! Oh my God, Deshaun Watson news!"
No.
No, Matt was furious about Philip Lindsay signing.
What are they going to do? Run the ball every play with a different running back? Like, what's their plan?
It's bad. And they released Duke Johnson, who's better than everyone they have on their roster, which is insane. I mean, talk about a criminally underused asset, Duke Johnson. Wherever he goes, wherever. So, fun fact about Duke Johnson, he is the all-time leading rusher in the University of Miami history. In the history of the U, Duke Johnson is their leading rusher.
I didn't know that.
That's crazy, isn't it?
But I think of him in the NFL more for his pass game usage. So
which is crazy because he really, I mean, he is a great between the tackles runner as well. People just don't utilize him in that fashion.
I don't know. I mean, no doubt when they lose Deshaun, I think that they're going to have to fight the Lions for the worst pick.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's going to be a battle for that 1-2 pick for sure. Going to be a battle. I think the Texans ultimately win out because the Lions are a little bit scrappy with potentially worse division with the Bears being crap, and the Vikings are always choke artists for that divisional 1-1 split. So all right, next team. This one, I don't know how you feel about it. Yes, I'm fine with that.
Right, B?
Okay. Yes, I'm fine with B.
Yeah.
I'm fine with B. But I will say they're close to an A for me. They are
way too
they
high
are
on
an
some of these
upper
teams.
echelon B for me. I'm a believer in Frank Reich. I'm a believer in that defense. I am really a believer in that offensive line. When you have a top 3 offensive line in the NFL and you have a fantastic offensive head coach and you have young talent who's going to be entering their second year, plus you have multiple first round. I think they have multiple first round draft picks again this year.
So because they traded the defensive tackle to what was his name? I can't think of his name, to the 49ers.
Yeah, I think they are going to load up and be really dangerous next year. They are my pick to win the AFC South. So that's why they're like leaning towards the A tier for me. But as we sit here, what'd you say, March 22nd? They are a B team.
What are their needs going into the draft? Because they've got really a solid offense.
Tough. I mean, they really want to try to add like another skill position player, which Kenny Golladay and Juju are off the board at wide receiver. There's really not much left, and Will Fuller. So potentially add some skill position depth, and then just load up on the defensive end. They're fine at quarterback. They're fine at running back. Their offensive line is fantastic. They have Pittman coming into year 2 here. Paris Campbell coming back off the ACL in the slot. Aging T.Y. running wind sprints.
Is T.Y. a free agent?
No, I don't believe so.
Oh, I think I saw the other day that he
Go ahead, fact check that real quick, and then I'll move on to the Rams really quick just because I want to get this out of the way. The Rams are an S tier for me, and I may get pushback from you, but when you go ahead and add a top 7, 8 quarterback in the NFL, on top of having one of the better defenses in the NFL, you move up to that S tier for me. I don't see how you don't agree. What about the Rams has you wanting to keep them out of that upper echelon of teams?
Okay, well, hold on. I did confirm T.Y. Hilton is a free agent, so I assume they'll bring him back on some type of deal.
Yeah, he'll either get like that veteran minimum deal and they'll bring him back, or they're definitely going to add a piece in the draft if they don't bring T.Y. back, which I'm way more of a fan of because this is a pretty deep wide receiver draft. One guy to keep an eye on for the Colts here, Bateman. In the draft, he is one of my favorite late first, early second round wide receivers. If they're able to snag him, that would be a perfect landing spot.
Okay, so I agree with everything on the Colts. The Rams, for me, I think it's part of the coaching. Like, I don't know what happened to Sean McVay, but last year they looked bad.
Yeah, Sean McVay's fake sharp. That's what we call him, fake sharp. He thinks everyone thinks he's smarter than he is, but the problem is he is still smarter than 90% of NFL coaches is the issue. So yeah, McVay is not some, world-changing guy like everyone thought he was, but he's still in that upper echelon of NFL coaches. So that's why for me, when you had Matthew Stafford behind that defense, Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, dude, two, in my opinion, top three players on the defensive side of the ball. You've got to be up there. They're a legit Super Bowl contender, like legit Super Bowl contender.
I'll give it to you. I'm not there on them. If this was my list, it'd be an A. I just on similar to the Ravens, actually, just on principle of showing out. Like, I need to see it before I believe it, because last year I didn't think.
Yeah, but we've seen Matthew Stafford be good. We haven't seen that, that next level from Lamar in a big spot. I don't know. We know what Matthew Stafford's got. He's unbelievably talented.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they added Deshaun Jackson, which I do like that. I don't know why they didn't add Marvin Jones. I felt like that made more sense.
Yeah, I don't know why Marvin Jones went to Jacksonville. I mean, I don't think that's a good fit at all. It almost, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense if they're trading DJ Shark, which, maybe they will. And then it will make sense why they got Marvin.
But I don't understand them trading Shark. Like,
me either. I don't get it.
That doesn't make sense to me. So
doesn't make sense to me either. I mean, a 3 wide receiver set of Marquise Lee in the slot, who is also a free agent, but I believe they'll bring him back with Laviska and Shark on the outside. I mean, that's a fantastic 3 wide receiver set. One interesting point that I think we need to make about the Jaguars real quick, just to backpedal, is that with Urban Meyer coming in, they may run way more 4 or 5 wide receiver sets. So it may make sense for Marvin to come in, and then they'll move some Laviska into the slot and play him with Lee, and they may run a lot of 4 wide receiver sets, which will be very interesting.
Yeah, I could see them opening up kind of like the Cardinals, where they're running all kinds of receivers.
Not as fast, you know what I mean? But definitely a spread scheme, just like Urban ran at Ohio State.
Yeah. But I'm interested to hear what you think about the Chargers here, because I think you and I might be different on this.
No, they're A tier for me.
Yeah, I think so, because they had a lot of injuries in the defense last year.
I still think they're a year away, maybe. But, I mean, they improved their offensive line in the offseason, and I mean, Justin Herbert's only going to improve. I don't want to say only going to improve from last year, because last year was so fantastic from him. But even if he repeats his play from last year with some slight improvements in his turnover rate, I definitely think they're dangerous. The one thing that's always going to hold them back is that, unfortunately, they have to play in a division with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, but I think I still think that they're a super, super solid team. Like, I think that they're a top wild card contender with them. I think their offense is explosive. I think Keenan Allen's super underrated. I love Mike Williams. I think that losing Hunter Henry should be a big loss, but they didn't
Parham, baby.
They didn't use him a lot. Yeah, Parham was.
We got Parham, XFL superstar.
Oh man. Okay. Wow. We'll see. And then they've got the 2-headed attack. Well, I think they need to draft a good running back that can handle.
Nobody needs to draft a running back. Go sign someone fat off the street to complement Eckler.
Oh my God. Yeah.
LeGarrette Blount available?
Oh, here we go.
LeGarrette Blount and Eckler. Call him off the street. Hold on, let me call him.
Here's the thing. I'm going to go off on a little tangent about
LeGarrette. Hey,
oh,
can you get some goal line touches for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we need you for. Yeah, come off the couch. Come get some goal line touches. Yeah, we can win a Super Bowl with you. Oh, for veteran minimum? Yeah, no problem. Yep, thanks, LeGarrette. Yeah, LeGarrette's in. We got a running back off the couch who's just as good as everyone on the free agent market.
Oh, see, I will say, I watched him a ton in New England when he went to Pittsburgh. He has this unique ability to fall forward. Whenever he's getting tackled.
265 pounds.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, like,
Put me on the goal line. I'll score a touchdown.
Oh my God, you would get rocked.
Listen, sign me for the veteran minimum. I could take some goal line carries away from Eckler and tilt the fantasy community.
Oh my God. All right, let's move on. I think this is just an easy one.
S tier, Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, there's nothing to say.
They will be in the S tier until Patrick Mahomes retires.
Yeah. I do want to ask, do you think that Tyreek Hill ever starts to digress a little bit as he gets older? Like, do you think he'll slow down? I don't think he's there yet, but I mean, in the coming years, it's got to happen, right?
Yeah, he won't be as explosive, but the problem is, even if he loses, 10% of his speed, he's still just as fast as, anyone else in the NFL. And there's always room. I mean, we see with Deshaun Jackson, him finding another home. Those guys who can take the top off the defense, they help quarterbacks so much, and they help other wide receivers win in one-on-one coverage because of those safeties having to play over the top, that he will be able to find a job in the NFL for a very long time. Even if he, unfortunately deals with a injury or anything that could potentially impact his speed outside of just age, I still think there will always be a job for him.
Yeah, I agree. And they have Hardman. I think Hardman is going to take a big step up with Sammy Watkins gone. I hope so, at least.
Yeah, I agree.
And then obviously they've got Travis Kelce. I mean, the only thing they can improve is their defense.
Yeah. This is a fun team to talk about right here.
Yeah,
this is a fun team.
I think. I mean, I'm going to put him here. Am I in the right?
I think you're right. I think you're right. Spot on. I actually think that's and they're, to me, they're even leaning more towards a C than they are an A for me.
Wow.
That's not. Yeah, they are. Listen, they're dealing with a ton of these cap issues. They already had to cut Jenkins. Still a ton of question marks about what they're going to do at quarterback.
I was supposed to say, yeah.
They're saying that they want to do the Jameis thing, but they didn't want to do it last year. And Taysom was okay in those games, but when it got ugly, when he had to step up and make a play, it was bad. I don't know if you remember that Broncos game that they played. They ended up pulling it out because the Broncos didn't have a quarterback, but it was really ugly, really, really ugly. So
it was bad.
To me, I think that's a fair grade for now, but I'm ready to move him down if things don't sound very optimistic out of the Saints camp.
Wow, I just don't know if you could put him in the C. But then
it's really tough when you think about. I mean, their division is no slouches. I think that the Panthers and the Falcons are both going to steal a game off them next year.
I'm just thinking now, I don't think I would put the Panthers in the same B tier, but if I was to pick between the Saints and the Panthers heads up, that's a lot closer than
you probably think.
Yeah,
it's tough. I agree, it's tough.
It's kind of crazy to think, Drew Brees, that's the end of an era for him. He's one of the all-time best, and for him to retire, obviously big shoes to fill, but I don't know. Is Winston the answer? Is Taysom Hill the answer? I don't think – I didn't see what I – Taysom Hill as a franchise quarterback last year from what I saw.
No, and they realized they fucked up giving him the contract that they did. That's why they moved the guaranteed money up a little bit so that they can get off his deal sooner rather than later.
Yeah. But okay. Well, I'm surprised we both agreed on that. I think it's tough putting him down in C.
Me too. Especially with some of these other teams on the board here, I think are going to land in that C tier as well. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Like the Giants.
I think the Giants are the perfect candidate for a C tier.
Yeah.
Weaker division, so they have an outside chance of winning it. As long as Dave Gettleman's at the helm, they'll never be successful. Sorry, Giants fans, but as long as he's there making decisions and the clapper Jason Garrett is calling offensive plays, they are not going to be good. And then in the next, 18 months, they have to pay Saquon Barkley. Once he decides he's going to hold out, they're going to give him an extension. So there'll be compounding mistakes and paying a running back, the highest salary in the league. And the fact that the Giants are not in an advantageous financial position when they haven't paid Saquon yet, and they have Daniel Jones on a rookie contract, uh, it's really scary for them a few years down the road here.
And they
Really
just paid
scary.
Kenny Galladay.
They just paid Leonard Williams and Kenny Galladay. So
I think their offense outside of Jason Garrett could be good. They've got a lot of talent there.
yeah, it's tough. Listen, they add Kyle Rudolph. I mean, what are they doing? What's their identity? What do they want to be?
I didn't understand the Kyle Rudolph signing at all.
Yeah, Kyle Rudolph signing was so bad.
You've got, but they didn't use Evan Ingram right all last year
No,
either.
Evan Ingram had a lower average depth of target than Jason Witten. Like what? Jason Witten on the Raiders. We're talking old Jason Witten.
Yeah,
like,
it was bad.
What is Jason Garrett doing? Why does this dude have a job? Get him out of the cocoon. I mean, Jesus.
I was surprised
Pathetic.
when they brought in the new head coach. He was a special teams coach, surprised everybody. I thought that he was going to go off and bring in I thought he was going to have new ideas. I thought he had something up his sleeve, and then he hires Jason Garrett. And I was like, oh.
It's a damn shame because I think Joe Judge is a good coach.
Everything
I'm
seen,
in.
Yeah.
I'm in on Joe Judge.
Yeah.
But it's a damn shame what they're doing, what Dave Gettleman's doing over there. I mean, he's a moron.
Oh, tell us how you really feel.
He's a moron.
All right. Well, we'll go to their division rival, the Eagles.
Same spot for me. What do you think? I think they even have a little bit more upside than the Giants just because of the unknown of Hurts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they are going to add someone at 6 in the draft, which will really help. Yeah, I mean, they're going to trade Hurts for sure. Have Dallas step into a full-time role. I was actually talking to an Eagles buddy before we got on here, and there's some rumblings about them potentially taking Pitts at 6. I'm not crazy about that just because they wouldn't use him properly, and they already have Dallas who you can split out into the slot and get those mismatches. They need to add a big-time wide receiver talent that they haven't had in years.
Yeah.
I think Chase will definitely be off the board there at 6. So I don't know. We're going to do a draft episode here in the next couple of weeks where we go over prospects and teams' needs and stuff like that. But I think the Eagles are going to end up with Devontae Smith, and I have some hot takes on Devontae Smith. I don't love his prospect profile, but
You had him as your 5th best receiver in the draft, wasn't it?
I have Rondell Moore. Yeah, I have Rondell Moore ahead of Smith for sure. I know I had Smith a little bit higher. I think I had him 4th. Because I had Jalen Waddle ahead of Smith in those rankings I sent you a few weeks ago. Yeah. But to me, Smith falls behind those two guys, and they're definitely going to use the pick at 6 on him. I feel like, but you know what? People thought that they were going to use it on Justin Jefferson last year. That ended up being a massive mistake, but it also shows that they're fine with going against the grain. Now, did they get scared off because they fucked up last year now? And are they just going to go with, the safe pick in Devontae Smith instead of taking a risk on a guy like Rondell Moore, who people may be lower on than market? But I know a bunch of really smart dudes who are really high on Rondell Moore. I mean, earlier breakout age than Devontae Smith, coming out of school earlier, better 40 time. I mean, Devontae Smith isn't even weighing in today at his pro day that came out, which is concerning. I mean, he's a small dude. So I don't know. Listen, we'll dive super into prospects in I don't know, probably 2-3 weeks here.
Yeah.
But for me, I think that's a good ranking of the Eagles right there.
Yeah, and their offensive line is not as good as it used to be. Their defense as a whole just isn't. I think they've got kind of holes all across the board. So I agree. I think that they're almost a borderline D team, to be honest with you.
I like them more than the Giants. So if you say that, then.
Oh, no. See, I like the Giants a lot more than the Eagles.
I'm not a Daniel Jones believer. So.
Yeah. Okay.
It's tough. But I just like the unknown of Hurts. He is upside, man.
I like Hurts. He just needs somebody to throw the ball to.
Yeah. They're going to address that. So if they add a wide receiver in the draft, you'll feel confident with that C ranking?
Yeah, probably.
Okay,
probably.
Cool.
Depending on who the receiver is, but yeah.
Of course. Yep.
I don't think there's going to be any debate on this one. Steelers A.
Steelers A. I agree. Last year with Big Ben, ride it off into the sunset. They got the defense. Ben comes with a massive cap hit, so this is it for him. He restructured his deal to help them out, to free up some cap space. I mean, he wants to win a title. They want to win a title. They bring Juju back on the 1-year deal. I mean, it's the Steelers' time. I mean, this is the last.
This is it.
Maybe the last hurrah.
Yeah.
This is it. Got to get the job done this year, and for me, that's an A team.
What in the draft moves them up to S for you?
Nothing.
There's nothing that doesn't?
No. Too much uncertainty over the last, what is it, like 18 months with Ben and his health and all that stuff, and new OC coming in. Just too much uncertainty to move them up to the S tier for me. Although, I mean, that's an elite defense for sure.
Yeah. No, I was thinking the same thing. Like, even if they've got really good receivers.
Yep.
Good tight end, good offensive line. I feel like that's one thing that Big Ben has always benefited from, was a pretty good offensive line pretty much his entire career.
Not just that, man. Though they are the best wide receiver talent evaluators, I mean, in the NFL. They're incredible. They really are incredible.
Passed away, I think it was a year or two ago, but
I think so. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he drafted everybody. I mean, Emmanuel
They
Sanders.
just smash wide receiver picks. It's super impressive, and Ben has definitely benefited from it. But you can't fault them. I mean, they're a very well run organization. I remember when people were laughing at them about the Le'Veon Bell stuff. How good do they look now? Right?
True.
That they even got compensation for Le'Veon Bell. It's insane that they did. Yeah. So good for them. And I don't see the Steelers having a complete drop-off after this year. They're still going to be competitive. They've got a lot of guys to pay. But if they could find a cheap quarterback, I think they brought in Haskins, didn't they?
Yeah, to sit in behind
sit behind Ben. So who knows if he's the answer. I know you don't really love Haskins. I don't love him either, but he's a cheap option that allows them to kind of keep that core intact and potentially run it back post Big Ben.
Yeah. We'll see. I didn't see it in Washington. I didn't like his attitude. I don't think he's going to do well as a backup. So I hope he proves me wrong. But all right. Denver, C?
No, not for me. They're D team for me, man. That quarterback play. They're going to draft a rookie. They have
another rookie?
They have to, man.
They're probably going to draft another unathletic.
They just keep swinging and missing. How funny would it be if like Mac Jones was on the Broncos, right?
It's got to be.
Like, so many high-end like rushing quarterbacks with a ton of upside, and Elway's going to freaking fall in love with the tall guy. Tall guy, big arm, national champion. Oh, Elway's going to eat it up. Mac Jones to the Broncos.
Elway's just sitting there eating his popcorn already, just staring at the pick. I can see it now.
He's watched the national title game like 10 times.
Yeah. I will say they've got a nice young receiving core.
Man, it's so good. If they can if Lance went to Denver.
See, I want him to go to the Patriots, but I mean.
If he goes to Denver with freaking
Jerry Jeudy is so good.
He's so good.
His route running is so good.
Yeah. Fant, Jeudy, Patrick, and Hamler. Yeah. Oh, baby. And Sutton.
Yeah, I was about to say, you forgot about Sutton.
Yeah, Sutton too, man. Oh my God, people forget about him because he tore his ACL last year. But that is a very good pass catching core to go along with a young quarterback. As long as his name's not Mac Jones. You know what's going to happen, right? Now that I just did this, the Bears are drafting Mac Jones. That's what's going to happen. There it is.
We'll have to have an emergency video for that one. I want to see. I want everyone to see. I was so happy when everyone saw the Kyle Fuller news live.
That was bad.
We're not going back into that though. I told you we wouldn't do it. So
nope.
Green Bay,
A for me, yeah. I thought you were going to go S. I'm glad you didn't, because what they've been doing in the offseason, we got into it last week, but it makes no sense.
They could be an S.
They should be an S team, but they are truly a poorly run organization. How have they not added another wide receiver to complement Davante Adams? I'm sorry, but Marquez Valdes-Scantling running wind sprints and praying to get open when teams double team Davante Adams is not the solution to maximizing the rest of Aaron Rodgers' career.
I agree. I didn't understand that. They drafted a QB. They drafted Dylan. and then they signed Aaron Jones and paid Aaron Jones. Like,
Trash.
none of it made sense. I think that they could have
Nope.
easily been in S tier, but put them in A.
Yep, I agree.
I'm interested. The Panthers. I know we talked a little bit about it. The Saints. Are they in this C tier? Like, how do you?
No,
B
that'll be
or
a C tier for me. Yep, C tier due to uncertainty and question marks at what they're going to do with the quarterback position.
You
They're
think
going to go. They're
do you
going to
think
get a
Teddy
rookie.
Bridgewater lost his job?
I think so. Yeah, I think they're going to get a rookie for sure. Teddy might start the year, but they'll be done with him. So
I don't know.
yeah,
I don't think he did that
they'll
bad.
have a rookie. He has no upside. I mean, there's nothing exciting about him, you know.
Yeah.
And with Joe Brady there, and he wants to run a certain style offense, and they losing Curtis Samuel stinks for them. I like Curtis Samuel. We'll get to him when we talk some Redskins, but I think that's a fair ranking C there for the Panthers.
Okay. Raiders. This is
I
tough.
guess they're a C, but
They're just they never like. Derek Carr is someone that just I don't know how to pinpoint him as a quarterback, because whenever I say he's horrible, shouldn't be a starter, he'll come out and throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
yeah, he had a pretty good year last year. But I mean, he's very uninspiring. I think Gruden is an awful head coach.
And they signed him for
Awful
10
head
years
coach.
when they brought him
Yeah,
out.
I think he's still got 7 more years
Oof.
left, if my math is correct. So that's pretty ugly. I'm not a Gruden guy, not a Carr guy. Josh Jacobs is a 2-down running back. I mean, it's
Well,
pretty
they
gross.
signed-
Ruggs. They don't
signed
use
a couple
Ruggs
running backs,
properly.
too.
They lost Nelson Aguilar. I mean,
Yeah. All bad. Darren Waller is approaching retirement. I mean, he's getting not approaching retirement. He's getting older though.
I think he's going into his age 30 season. So
Yeah. Yeah, not a lot on the Raiders. It's just there's not a lot of upside
nothing
there.
exciting. It's
Yeah.
just nothing exciting.
And they had the draft last year. Like they had what, 3 picks in the first round?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
I don't know. Redskins. This is one I'm interested to talk about because I think they made a lot of great moves this offseason.
they have to be a B team, right?
It's scary to say
cannot-
that.
I can, dude. They might have the best defense in the NFL next year.
I think that's a bold statement. But
Is it? Is it though? They have easily the best front seven. They had the best front seven last year. Them and the Steelers.
yeah, I think they made a great job picking Chase, the defensive end.
Chase Young. Yep.
Chase Young.
Fantastic.
Such a good pick there.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the biggest need for them is a solid quarterback, and I think that I'm a big Ron Rivera guy. I loved what he did last year, going through cancer and everything, and I don't think he should have been fired from the Panthers when he was.
I'm not a big Ron Rivera guy, to be honest with you. I'm not shy to say that. I don't think he's a very good coach. Maybe he's a good like leader of men type of guy, but to me, what is Ron Rivera bringing on a day-to-day basis to, you know?
I think that if you take him off the Redskins offensively, they're not. I mean, when you look at what they did last year with who they did it with, I mean, they were a playoff team, and no one knew.
They were a playoff team because the Eagles had Wentz. The Giants are run by Dave Gettleman, and Dak broke his ankle. That's the only
but
reason
you've
they
got
were
the
a playoff
Cowboys
team.
in A because of that same division. Like
Yeah, but they have Dak.
I think the Redskins are the same caliber team as the Cowboys right now.
I think they got to be. They're a step behind them just because of Dak Prescott.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know what pick they have in the draft, but I mean, if they make the right move at quarterback, I thought it made a lot of sense for them to sign Cam and really bring back the whole crew because they got Curtis Samuel, which I like. You want to talk about Curtis Samuel? I know you mentioned him earlier.
I think he's going to be a lot of fun there in that
too.
offense.
Yeah.
Dude, Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel stacks with Ryan Fitzpatrick and best ball. I'm giving out all the secrets early and often right here, but
I love Ryan Fitzpatrick.
That is going to be exciting. Me too. And listen, I love Antonio Gibson as well. He's someone where so he was a pass catching back in college who came into the NFL and people assumed he would have that role. And then he was more of a two-down guy with McKissick playing third downs last year.
Yeah.
So if they have an expanded role for Antonio as well this year, I am very bullish on the Redskins.
So I forget how many teams Fitzpatrick's been on, but do you think this is one of, if not the best team?
Yeah, this is his ninth team. Ninth team.
I think this might be the best. I mean, the Dolphins were good.
I'm running through them real quick.
He went through the whole AFC division pretty much.
Might be. I mean, they didn't have a ton of offensive weapons for him there in Miami. I mean, Devontae Parker, the late breakout age.
Yeah.
Gesicki, still a young, raw tight end. I don't know. It's tough. But listen, I love that Fitzpatrick landing spot. I love how the prospect of Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel playing with him.
Yep.
Logan Thomas is, I don't think he's the answer for them at tight end, but he was great
came on
last
at the
year.
end of the season.
Yeah, he was fine. He can get the job done. I mean, he's a converted quarterback out of Virginia Tech. So I like Logan Thomas, but he's definitely not their answer. I can't wait to see what other moves they make, and maybe come August, September, you could talk me into raising them up a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Arizona Cardinals.
Oh man, this is a tough ranking. You can't put them higher than. You want to put them higher than the Niners there?
I think you have to.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I think J.J. Watt is such a difference maker on the defense.
He's a little overpaid for what they gave for him. I think he's a
I'm
little
saying
bit worse
player wise. I mean, he's out there. I mean, I don't care what he.
I think I think he lost a step, but yeah, I'm fine with that. Listen, the fact that you're higher on the Cardinals than maybe I am might be saying something.
I love Kyler Murray though. I might be one of Kyler Murray's biggest fans.
Yeah.
Like they added. I know AJ Green is old, but like AJ Green
trash signing, trash.
I didn't get it.
The fact that AJ Green signed for a 1-year deal and Will Fuller signed a 1-year deal, and you couldn't find the couple extra million to add Will Fuller. Come on, guys. Yeah,
I don't understand. And Andy Isabella
Will Fuller on the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Dude, they're just burying Andy Isabella behind AJ Green. What are we doing?
I think Andy Isabella is better than Larry Fitzgerald now. Larry Fitzgerald had an incredible career.
Larry Fitzgerald's a free agent. They haven't even brought him back yet. So
I think they're going to bring him back.
Yeah, I think they might on, the cheap veteran deal. But why are they burying Andy Isabella behind dusty AJ Green?
And Christian Kirk. And Christian Kirk.
Well, Kirk will play the slot for them, which I actually think is really good for him. But I don't understand why we're burying Andy Isabella when he's not worse than AJ Green. I'm sorry.
I agree. That's a team that I think could have made a better decision there, but they do run 4 and 5 wide receiver sets.
Yeah, at the highest rate in the league by far.
So, and they need a running back. Oh, that might move him down to a B. I forgot they lost.
They'll add someone.
Drake.
No, but even with Edmonds, they'll add someone. Hold up. Give me 1 sec.
Oh, here we go with the phone call again.
LeGarrette?
Yeah.
LeGarrette, is that you?
All right.
Oh, hey, buddy. You want to sign with the Cardinals? Veteran minimum. We just need goal line touches. Yeah, sure. Come on down. We'll get you 10.
Oh.
10 touchdowns. Yeah. Sure, we'll give you a bonus. Perfect. All right, we're good, guys. I got LeGarrette off the couch to come be the complimentary back to Chase Edmonds in Arizona.
Okay. I think they might have to move down to a B, but I'll leave them at A for now.
No, leave them up. Leave them up.
Because
you
now,
me into it.
now I've got the Bills, though, and you've got to put the Bills in
S.
I think they're an A. But
Josh. Come on. Bring it back, Dabble. Come on.
Josh.
They're an S tier. Listen, it's fair. We'll have 2 teams from the NFC, 2 teams from the AFC. That's only fair.
Well, there's going to be 3 teams from the AFC. There's one more on the board.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's going to happen. But I can't. Did you do this on purpose that they're the last team?
I didn't plan this, but you would think producer Matt would think that far ahead. But
of course,
no. I like the Bills a lot. I think that they're. I don't even know what they need really. I think they're almost in this same tier as the Ravens, where they just need to perform, and I think that that'll come with growth.
Yeah, I like Josh Allen more than Lamar. So
100%.
That's easily. So,
100%.
and just their willingness to commit. I mean, we saw in that playoff game where they just went full, complete pass happy, and the fact that they're willing to do that with Josh, and then just another year to get acclimated with Stephon Diggs and
Yeah.
Gabriel Davis moving into year two. I think that I wasn't excited about them signing Emmanuel Sanders. The fact that Will Fuller went for 1 year, like what was it, 10 or 10 and a half, 11 mil, and some of these guys are signing like 1 year, $6 million deals, or Juju one for 8 million, and then you got like Manny Sanders and AJ Green signing for like 2 million less. Like, what are teams doing? Like, why would someone not go out to Juju and be like, hey, we'll give you two for I don't know, 14, something like that.
I think that, well, with Will Fuller, it's got to be the injury. I know you don't like the injury history, but like to talk about it, but there's that. And then last year, the only year he made it, he was suspended for PEDs. And I think that a team wants to see it before they pay him. With Juju, he's not the best receiver on their team. We didn't talk about it, but I mean, I think Claypool, he's miles better.
Claypool and Deontay are better than him right now.
And I think that that's the reason that those players didn't. But you saw Kenny Golladay got paid. I mean,
they did,
and he deserved it.
Deservingly so. I mean, some people are shitting on the Giants that they paid too much, and I'm the first person who will shit on the Giants, and I still think it was a pretty good signing. So
yeah, I think it was pretty good. But okay, here's a fun one before we go. If you had to pick, or well, we've got 3 left, but Kyler Murray or Josh Allen, you have a franchise. Who are you picking between the two of them? Heads up.
It's not even a discussion. It's Kyler Murray.
Oh, I think it's close, but I do agree.
Not even a discussion. Josh Allen is elevated because of that coaching staff. Kyler Murray is a generational talent.
I think he's fun to watch.
Oh,
he's quick. Best. He's so quick.
The little Stewie Griffin feet.
Yeah, he does that little.
Yep.
Shuffle.
It's the best, dude. If you go back and watch the Allen, Texas state championship with Kyler Murray. He was doing that move back in high school while he was throwing touchdowns to what's that guy's name? Who's the wide receiver for the Chargers? Oh, Jalen Guyton. Yep. Jalen Guyton was Kyler Murray's high school wide receiver. He threw like 25 touchdowns to him when they were seniors. It was insane.
Huh.
Yep. There's a fun fact for you.
Fun fact. All right, 3 left. Seattle Seahawks. I think this is. I'll wait.
A for me.
No.
When you have Russell Wilson, you're an A.
You're a B.
No, they're not a B team.
They're
Matt.
B.
They're not a B team.
Oh no, I think they're.
They're
B.
not worse than the Cardinals. So they're not worse than the Cardinals.
They are worse than the Cardinals. They're worse than everyone in
A.
They're worse than everyone in A.
You think the Seahawks are worse than the Chargers? I don't know about that one.
I would take a lot of these teams in B over them.
Like who?
They lost Griffin at corner.
Okay. But they have Russell Wilson.
They have Russell Wilson. They have DK Metcalf, and they have Tyler Lockett.
Yep.
Puts them in B.
No, I completely disagree. When you can't have a top 5 quarterback in the NFL and be in the B tier. Look at our quarterbacks. It's a quarterback league. Look at the quarterbacks that we have in the S and the A tier.
And he's trying to leave. What does that say?
What quarterback in the B tier is better than Russell Wilson?
Kyler Murray. Oh, you said B tier. B tier.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think that's the reason that those people are in the B tier. Like, all right, look, I'm gonna get a lot of flack from this.
The lack of quarterback play. Russ has to be in the A tier. He's a Super Bowl contending quarterback.
I'll put him there. I know I'm gonna get a text from my brother-in-law Kyle tomorrow. He's a big Seahawks fan.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, and he deservingly. No, come on. That was nearly a bad take. I just walked you off the cliff of.
No, I still stand by this. I think they're a B tier. I think that
division is freaking loaded.
It's really
good.
Really good. But like, I think that if they're playing the Niners, I think that's a 50-50. I think if they're playing the Redskins, that's probably a 50-50. The Colts, 50-50. Like, I think that I'm comparing them a lot more to the teams in B tier than I am in A.
Redskins versus Seattle, that's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's
And then,
fun.
but like
I'm
if you,
still betting on Russ. I'm still betting on Russ there.
but if you're playing the Cardinals, you think that that's a 50-50?
I do. Yep. I do.
And the pack, I would pick the Cardinals. I would pick the Packers. I'd pick the Steelers. I'd pick the Chargers. I'd pick the Cowboys, and I'd pick the Ravens.
I think that for me, the Ravens. If you want to argue that the Steelers and Green Bay are the upper echelon of I'll agree with you. But those other teams it is super competitive with the Seahawks.
All right, we'll see. I'll give you this one, but I just want it. We got it on record. I disagree.
Perfect.
Yeah,
but listen, we could fly through these last two teams. They're both D's. So thanks for coming out, guys. Two D teams.
No. The Jets definitely a D team. Jets are definitely a D team, but I think Patriots are a B. Easily. Borderline A.
I don't know if the Patriots are a B team, but fine. Listen, you allowed me to put the Bears in C.
Yeah.
I will let you put the Patriots in B, but I'm not crazy excited about what they did, but they have Bill Belichick, so I'm okay with that.
I think that I'm being nice and not putting them in A.
Really?
With their current team. I think they're going to be lights out this year. I think they've got a lot to prove. Cam is going to come back. He's got no excuses this year. I think that when he gets a full off season and preseason with his guys, I think you're going to see a different Cam this year.
One thing that did just come across was the Giants signed Adoree Jackson. So the Giants are really going for it here. Based on that signing, does that move the Giants up for you? Not for me, but no. Does that move the needle at all? No. Dave Gettleman's still there.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
I still think they've got a lot of not even coaching issues. I think they just got to figure out their offense before I would move them up in any way.
Yep. I completely agree. All right. Listen, that was our first edition of our NFL tiers list.
Yeah.
Any last comments, concerns from you, Maddie?
I mean, I just want everyone to truly appreciate the sound quality that James Rueb has dedicated. And he's got lights. He's got sound.
People,
we had transition. Come on. We were sharing screens. Like we're doing everything here. So
listen, it's getting better, people. And Matt's wife has invited me down to their house for the summer. So maybe we'll even get a live show in person. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see. But I think that would be fun over the summer. But that
would be a lot of fun. All right. Thank you guys again for tuning into the Rueb Show. The support has really been great. The views have been, really, really awesome for, this thing we're just throwing together. Two buddies, starting a little show. Hopefully the mic quality gets us a few more likes and subscriptions. That'd be great. If you like the mic quality, drop a comment down below, give us a like, turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode of the Rueb Show.